Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome from the Paris Advanced Research Center, we usually call PARC, and we are based in Paris. Today, we have the pleasure of hosting again Dr. Sebastien Goulard. He's consultant and manager of Cooperans. We will be exploring the implication of Russian President Putin's two-day state visit to China. And additionally, if we have time, we will discuss the tragic death of Iranian President Ebrahim Raisi in a helicopter crash on Sunday. Dr. Sebastien, thank you and welcome again.
Thank you. Thank you. It's always a pleasure to talk with you.
What was the primary focus of Putin's visit to China?
The main focus for Putin was to show the international community that he was still able to go abroad and to show the international community that we are living in a multipolar world where the Western powers do not make the international order. He, with China, with Xi Jinping, were able to influence the world and to live without the Western powers. So it was mainly a kind of influence operation that was directed to the international community, but also to its people, to show that he was still able to make some deals, although during this visit, no important deal was made. But he wanted to show his people that he was able to travel to China and to continue to have important relations with the second world economy.
Do you think the timing was planned before Xi Jinping visited Europe, or it was like coincidence?
Well, I would say it's more or less a coincidence because when visiting Europe, Xi Jinping did not really show any willingness to 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 be used as a dialogue creator between Europe and Russia. It was what, for example, President Macron wanted Xi Jinping to do. He wanted Xi Jinping to act as a possible mediator between Europe and China and Russia, but it's not exactly as a position of Xi Jinping because you may remember last year China had published a list of a 12-point plan to bring peace back to Ukraine, but this plan was quite vague and was not very oriented toward Russia and Ukraine, but mostly towards the US. In this plan, Xi Jinping was talking about his wish to reduce the Cold War mentality. So it was not really a real peace plan. So in this confrontation between Ukraine and Russia, China, let's say that China wants to act as a party above other parties. So yes, China wants peace back because peace is good for business. China also doesn't want Ukraine Ukraine's Ukrainian frontiers to get changed, but China will not act as a protector of Ukrainian frontiers.
So, do you think that China's support is crucial for Putin, particularly regarding the Ukraine conflict?
Yes, because even if he doesn't want to admit it, Putin is quite isolated on the international community. Yes, some countries still continue to trade with him, with Russia, but because of the possible sanctions that were decided by the US, by the European Union, it's important for Putin to again to show the world that there are some countries, and especially China, that are continuing to trade with Moscow. So it's a message sent to the international community that we, Russia and China, we can work without the support, without the influence of other countries. So yes, it's important for Putin, and especially because of the sanctions, it was much more difficult for Russia to sell its oil to other countries. So yes, India still import oils from Russia, but also China. We have to remember that for the last year. The main the main source of oil import for China is Russia. It's not Saudi Arabia anymore. So yeah, it's important. And for Russia, China is a main source of machineries, of chips, and chips are very important for Russia right now. So yes, there is a kind of a strong trade partnership that is made between Russia and China.
And since Ukraine conflict, and we see the trade relationship has grown between Russia and
That's
China.
why last year, as the trade between Russia and China has increased by 25%. So it's huge. But
It's huge, yeah.
it's an unbalanced relation because China is now Russia's top trade partner. But for China, Russia is only the sixth trade partner. So you see that Russia is very dependent on China, but the contrary is not true because the main import from Russia is oil, and China can also buy oil from other markets. They're importing oil from Russia because Russian oil is less expensive right now because of sanction. But China can import oil from other markets, but it's not true for Russia. Sure, Russia really needs those chips, and the only country right now that is that can sell chips to Russia is China. So there is a strong unbalanced relation between the two countries.
And also I recognized Xi Jinping was very welcoming with a warm hugging Putin, which we didn't see before with other countries' president. Is there a message to the West, or how we could read that?
Actually, there are two messages. One is might be to the West to show, like Putin wants to show that we live in a multipolar world, and this is a major element of this message. But there is also another dimension that is where the audience is the Chinese audience, because it also shows the Chinese audience that China was right as a you know that in the 90s and early 2000s, China and Russia have taken two different paths. China has opened its economy, but has maintained a closed politics, right? And Russia opened both its economy and its politics. But now we can see with Putin that Russia is closing also um, its political side. Okay, all the reforms that have been started in the 90s, they are not welcome anymore. So China and Xi Jinping wants to show his Chinese people that China was right. China was right not to change its path and to continue to remain a socialist country. And it also shows that yes, Xi Jinping was right, and Xi Jinping because I will not say that there are some controversies within China regarding Xi Jinping's power, but still, it's a good way for Xi Jinping to show that he is right, and other countries, other leaders were wrong, and now they're adopting the Chinese way. So
it's clear he gives the message this. There is no only liberal economy like capitalist, but there is also alternative, and he proved it.
And it's not only about economics, it's a lot about politics. And
yeah,
this is
we see that
a message sent to the world. Yeah. And it's also a kind of paternalistic gesture. By hugging Putin, he shows that he's kind of the father in this relation. So is still above parties.
Interesting. And again, after this important 2 days state visit, and how did reflect on the West? I mean, we have been talking about that potential consequences of the China-Russia alliance on USA global influence. And also, it has been talking about dominance of the dollar will be end in somehow. And how we see after this visit, and do we really going to see another consequences of this meeting?
It's not that easy. Let's say that yes, we can see that the renminbi use in international banking reserves has increased, but still the renminbi is not a global currency, and if Russia and China are trading in renminbi or also in euro, it's because Chinese companies are not interested at all in rubles, in Russian rubles, because they can't use Russian rubles outside Russia. And for Russia, yes, they got they trade in yuan or in renminbi, but they cannot use this currency to trade with other countries. So it makes Russia even more dependent on China. So it's not still China's yuan is still not a global currency because it's not accepted by every country around the world. So I would not say that this challenges the predominancy of the US dollar. And there are also some issues regarding China's let's say, partnership with Russia because of the Ukrainian war. It's the fact that I would say that China has lost most of the Central European powers uh, because of the China's unwillingness to take part in this conflict. Uh, before the Ukrainian war, let's say that some countries in Central Europe, Poland or Romania, were likely to develop relations with China, and it's no longer the case anymore because of the war in Ukraine, and all the possible trade links that was supposed to create new relations between China and Central Europe, they have mostly disappeared, and it will be difficult for China to rebuild this trust between some European countries and Beijing. So yes, they have they have earned the Russian market, but they have lost quite some influence in Central Europe. So it's not, yeah, it's not the best operation for China, let's say.
I understand. Well, it seems the China trade try to make balance between the West and the Russia after the Ukraine conflict, but it seems that China preferred to be more close as an alliance to Russia than the West. And thank you so much. It was important visit for not only to show that these two big power they are agree in many things, but also they are not agree certain politics and economics. And if I am not wrong, they have agreement to visit each other every year.
This is
And
what
and
was
what does it mean?
decided. Yeah, and they are doing that, but for example, for this visit, there were very few deals that were made during Putin's visit to China. There were two main deals regarding the export of Russian vegetables and Russian porks to China. They, there might be some agreements about dual use equipment, but for all those strategic deals, they are not publicly public. They're not available to the public. So we don't know, and this is the main worry for the international community, is that China might sell some dual-use equipment to Russia that Russia could use in the war against Ukraine. Officially, China has not done that, and is not willing to export military equipment to Russia. But this is the official discourse. We don't really know about the reality.
Okay, let's jump to another hot topic. And just 2 minutes we can talk about this. And as you heard, Iranian President Ebrahim Raisi tragically died in a helicopter crash. And everybody talks about it, along with the Iran foreign minister.
Yeah.
And the other official, of course, in I think a mountains region, northwestern Iran near the Azerbaijan.
Yeah.
And the Turkish drone had to found the helicopter with as their neighborhood. And the incident sparked nationwide mourning, leading Iran to declare 5 days of mourning, and also Turkey, I think, declare 1 day mourning.
Yeah.
And so what are your thoughts on it? I mean, um, some they claim it should not might be crash, but some officially they accept as a crash helicopter because of weather condition. And does it gonna be some consequences will change some geopolitics, because we know he was known for his confrontational stance against the West.
Yes, but I'm not an expert in Iran, but I still think that the Iranian president has not so much power. It is the supreme leader,
That's
Khamenei,
true.
who has the most power in Iran, and uh, and I think that he was supposed to become the next supreme leader at the death of Khamenei. So I believe that there would be some strong debate within the Iranian government, no, Iranian state, about uh, the possible succession of the supreme leader in the coming years. Uh, However, I don't really believe uh, in the fact that there would be maybe an intervention in this accident. I mean, he was using a quite old helicopter in a mountainous region in with fog. So this happens to many people. But the consequences, yes, would be at the Iranian state. What would be next, and who will be in charge of Iran in the coming years?
And it's important because it's ongoing Israel attack to Gaza, and it's for
Hmm.
Iran. It's important to go to re-election. They decided already. I think if I'm not wrong, 19 June, and many things in same time going on parallel way. And yeah, I think you're right, because of Iranian religious leader are more important figure
Also
than
want to
political one.
govern. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sebastian.
Thank
And
you.
it's always we are happy to have
Well,
you,
it's
and
always
your
my pleasure.
and your thoughts are very important. Thank you again.